Welcome to Work From Your Happy Place, the podcast that equips you with the tools, know-how, and motivation to live your dreams and find your happy place. Be sure to sign up for our free weekly newsletter for a recap of the week's guests and a preview of what's in store. To sign up, simply text the word Happy Place with no space to 33444. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce the host of Work From Your Happy Place, Belinda Ellsworth.
Welcome, everyone, to Work From Your Happy Place. I'm Belinda Ellsworth, and we have a great show in store for you today. I have Jessalyn Pito with me today from Tastefully Simple. And Jessie comes to us today from Middletown, Connecticut. She has been in the direct sales industry for 24 years and with her present company for the last 13. She was working full-time when she started her direct sales business. However, she was looking for a flexible way to make extra money to pay down some credit card debt that she had acquired from being a single mom with no child support. 1 year later, she was able to quit her job, and she had an intentional plan in place to make that happen. In addition to being able to quit, she has earned many rewards throughout her career. She was the first consultant to reach $1 million in personal sales, top national salesperson 2004, 5, 6, 9, 10, and 13, top national recruiter 2006 and 2009, top national leader developer in 2010. She's been in the top 10 national sales and recruiting 2003 through 2013. So impressive. And a Gold Leaf Executive Club member 2004 through 2015, with the exception of 2014. She is a leader of $1 million team for 2005 through 2015, so for the last 10 years. And she's the top National Building Leaders Award at Leadership Conference 2005 through 2008. Pretty impressive. Welcome, Jessie.
Thank you, Belinda. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And just in hearing you give my bio, I was kind of like, wow, that's me. Wow. And I have to say thank you in front of everyone, because you have had a major influence on my direct sales career. So thank you for that.
Well, you are welcome. And I know we go back a long way, and it's so much fun.
We will not say how long.
Right? But it's just so much fun to see that. And it's so rewarding for me. And I know that, that's part of what this whole show is about working from your happy place and loving what you do. And I know you certainly do, to win those awards, but I certainly love what I do. And it's fun when you can see that work in synergy, and it's exciting. It really is.
Totally.
Okay, so why don't you fill in the gaps a little bit for us and tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Well, there's not much more to fill in. I was a single mom with no child support, and I never thought I would be in the direct selling, business or industry, only because I always had a fear of public speaking. But I was introduced to it when I was young, because that's what my mother did as a way to supplement her income. So she would kind of tote me with her, and I would be her helper at the parties. And so I went to college to get a degree in radiology, because, that's what we're told to do: live the American dream, invest in your education. And I loved my job, but I don't make a very good employee. And the reason being is, as you just heard, I love to work, and I love to work hard. But unfortunately, in my situation, when you worked outside the home and you worked really hard, you found yourself with a raise that was usually more work and not money. So that really wasn't helping me pay the bills. And so I needed to do something. And so being a single mom with no child support, I needed something with flexibility. So I was like, all right, let me get out of my comfort zone here and learn more about, a company way back when that I had been introduced to. I was a guest at a party. And so I just decided to do it. And what I found, we've all heard this before, but when you find something that really excites you and you have passion around that, it really is it's not sales, it's sharing. And so I quickly began to love this industry. And then here we are, 24 years later. Little did I know I would make a full-time career out of this. So that's kind of what has helped me with that. And it's life comes full circle because I started this to supplement my income with no child support. But now I've been happily married, going on 18 years. And now I'm in a situation where my son, who was my little one at the time, is now married and has a 5-year-old daughter. And this business has allowed me to be their caretaker for her. So she is being raised by family, and selfishly, I have the best relationship with her. And now I get to be there for her. And that is just the most gratifying experience I have had to date, because not only does it allow my family, my son and daughter-in-law, to save money on childcare, but now she's being taken care of by family, and I get to have a great relationship with her.
That's awesome.
Well, it's kind of fun how life comes full circle. I love it.
It really, really is. I can attest to that for sure. So tell us a little bit about how this business has shaped your lifestyle.
Well, I started out in direct sales part-time, and it was enough to make great money. And I didn't realize that when you do something that you like, there's some extra perks to kind of go along with that. So with all the recognition that everyone heard and incentives and trips, I don't know about anyone listening in on this call, but I realized that full-time jobs don't offer those additional perks. And being told over and over there was never enough money in the budget for a raise, it was just becoming increasingly frustrating. So during that whole experience, it's taught me that what I don't want for sure, and I don't want to have to start coming from a place of, what I mean by that is, what I deserve. So when we get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life, it doesn't allow us to have a quiet mind and reflect on what we really, really want and what really, really matters. And so it's funny how, and what I mean by that is when I first started in this business, I loved the trips. Don't get me wrong. It has been the biggest blessing. I've traveled to places that had I stayed working outside the home, it would have taken me forever to save just to go to one of these trips. But what I've realized in life, now fast forward 24 years, is that here I thought it was the things that was going to make me happy, like going here or going there. And it's the experiences that have helped me grow as a person, but it's not the things that make me happy. It's having a business that allows me the flexibility to work alongside my family. That is actually what has made me the happiest person in the world.
So what I'd like you to share now are some of your greatest skill sets that you feel have helped you with your business and certainly in achieving all of these awards. And I don't know if I ran through them pretty quickly, but what spoke to me in all of those awards was consistency. And man, to get them for 10 consecutive years, you've got to be having some major skill sets that you're doing on a pretty consistent basis. So can you share with our listeners just what you feel some of your greatest skill sets are?
Well, you never want to stop growing as a person as well as a professional in your industry. So what I mean by that is one of the greatest unsung skills that we don't realize that we're going to get along the way is the personal growth. It's not something I ever imagined, and I never thought I would have gotten over my fear of public speaking. But it certainly, again, not sales, but sharing has helped me do that. But with all the trainings that are available to all direct sellers, whether it be within your company or outside of your company, such as something like this, really don't take the training for granted, because it can be applicable to your business, but it's also applicable to your life. And these are lifelong lessons that will stay with you forever. And not just that, but having your children and grandchildren set goals, watching you set goals and reach for them, that in itself is something that for us to be a role model to our family, and a lot of children don't see that today, it's really been a great blessing and something that I feel that we tend to take for granted. And I also, one of my other top skills, which has helped me personally as well, is my ability to coach. And coaching was never a strength of mine. I have a type A personality. And so I was very good at training and telling versus asking questions. So, and I never understood, why aren't you doing that? But having to ask questions around that. So I totally dove into whatever I could find into coaching to make myself a better coach. So I wasn't born to be a great coach. I've learned to be a great coach. And it really is around all of the training that's out there. And thanks to you, you were actually the catalyst in my business to be the queen of client care. And you ask yourself, why is it I've been able to be a top producer year after year after year? And it's the client care and the relationships that I've built with my clients all these years, because people only do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And I can honestly say my clients know that I'm not selling to them. I'm adding value to their lives.
When I think of everyone in the industry that I've met over the years, literally there's like 3 people that come to my mind that are exemplary customer service, customer care, and you're at the top of that list. Like when I say, the queen of customer care is Jessie Pito, absolutely. And so I appreciate that you're saying that that's a great skill set, but just tell us like a day in the life of how you do this, because this is the thing that people are fearful of the most. And I would bet, by what I know, that customer care not only brought you those sales and hitting those top achiever sales, but it's also what helped your recruiting. It's also what helped your leadership and meeting new team members. And it's helped everything, is what I would guess. And I think people just think, do I really need to get extra orders this month? I'm good this month. I've heard people say this to me. I've already hit my minimums this month, so I don't really need to work on reorders. It's like, that's not the point of it at all. It's these relationships we're building. So give us a day in the life of how do you organize yourself, how you make a point to do this, when you call people back. I would just love to hear some details on it.
Oh, sure. Well, first, let's just say I met someone at a party. So they're with me at a party, and based on my checkout experience with them, I will just, review their order and go through all the steps, booking a party. What did you love most tonight? Yada, yada, yada. So then right before I'm ready to close and wrap it up, I'll let them know, one of the services I provide is to keep you informed with current information and recipes. And so I do this every 3 months or 6 months, which one works best for you. Now, I'm in a food industry, so, they're not going to use their product all by tomorrow. I need to give them some time to use that. So that's why you might be saying, well, every 3 months or 6 months, wow. Well, I'll kind of step in and share with you what I do in between that. So now what I do is I will go home and I use a online management system to keep track of my contacts. I know some people might use an Excel spreadsheet. Maybe your company has something specific, but I use an online management system. And the reason for that is I can take my laptop wherever I go and have access to my clients. If you're more of a paper person, well, then do it paper-wise. Have it be January through December, and you just take your client's order form and file it according to the month, either 3 months out from when you met them or 6 months out. So regardless of what someone tells me at checkout, they will hear from me within 24 to 48 hours, like with what you said, an attitude of gratitude. And it's simply to thank them for coming to the party, giving me the gift of their time, and letting them know their order has been processed and when to expect it. I also do it for the outside orders, and I think this is where a lot of times people drop the ball, is they forget to call the outside orders from someone's party, and they're just as important as the people who did attend the party. So everyone hears from me, whether they want to be followed up with or not. And then they hear from me again after they've received their order. And I kind of call it an out-of-the-box call, because I want to be certain, A, they did receive their order, and B, their order was complete. Dealing with a product that sometimes comes in glass jars, things happen, and I want to be the first person to connect with them versus them running off and telling someone, oh, I got my order and this was damaged and that was damaged. I want them to know I care and I just didn't place the order and never to be here, hearing from me again. And then after I know that they have their order and it's complete, I will send them emails and newsletters and recipe ideas in between the times that they ask me to contact them. And then when I do contact them at the 3-month or 6-month call, it's a full service call. How are you enjoying your products? I wanted to keep you up to date. I've missed, not having you as a host. Let's party. Or, have you given any more thought into earning additional income? I would love to have you be a part of my team. So that's what that sounds like. I also will send happy birthday cards, happy anniversary cards. I use Facebook as a way to keep relationships alive. I use it more for relationships than a selling basis. And so when you see that someone's daughter graduated or, something special happened, comment. Don't just like the post. Anybody can like a post, but comment on it. And you want other people to see your name and just be visible and show that person that you care. So that is what my service looks like. And I think a lot of people are afraid to do it because they think it's cold calling, but it's not, because you're already dealing with people that you already have relationships with. You're dealing with people who opened up their wallet and are spending money with you and investing in value with you. And not only that, and I say this to my team all the time, and we have mostly women on the team, and I'll say, not for nothing, but when you were in high school, you lived on the telephone. So why is it now, all of a sudden, because you have something to share with someone, you all of a sudden don't want to use the phone? That makes no sense to me at all. So, that's it in a nutshell. And the other thing I want to encourage everyone to do is, for the first time, we're dealing with 4 generations of people in the workplace. So you need to know your generations of people and how they respond to technology. So if you're a baby boomer, you're going to be apt to want to pick up the phone versus sending a text message to a millennial, which is how they'll respond. So you really need to know all the different generations, the millennials, the Gen Xers, the baby boomers, the Gen Ys, and know how they respond. Is it a phone call? Is it an email? Is it a text message? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook message? What is it? And you need to respond to the method that they communicate. And I think that's where a lot of people get frustrated, and you just need to know who you're dealing with.
Those are great points. Thank you for sharing that with us. So now tell us a little bit about an obstacle or challenge. Some people look at people like yourself and say, wow, she's so successful. Everything must just come easy. So why don't you share with us a little bit about an obstacle or a challenge that you faced and how you've worked through that?
Well, yes, dealing with people can be challenging and just as rewarding. And so there have been a couple of instances with some team members over my years, whether it be centered around breaking a policy. And I'll address it and just say, it has been brought to my attention and it's not something that I ignore. And the reason for that is you have the rest of the team watching you. So if you're not teaching your team how to lead and address situations, it's definitely going to erode the culture of your team. So, you kind of have to, if you need to give yourself the grace of space before you react, because it's not good to communicate with someone when you're reacting. Just kind of give yourself the space, write it out, and just address the issue. Don't be emotional, address the issue. And there's been times where I've had to turn team members into my company headquarters because my highest value is integrity. And so I need to walk the walk and talk the talk. And if someone's not doing that, I need to be authentic to myself in order to show the rest of the team, how I am as a leader. And so there's been certain times I've had to have those difficult conversations, and I've had to say, you know what, this is not how it's supposed to be done. And if it continues, I'll give them one grace. And if it continues, then I need to call the company. So, and I've had to do that.
Okay. So the whole show is about working from your happy place. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean to you, both personally and professionally?
I can actually get a little tearful during when you had said, I'm going to ask you this question. I was like, oh, this is going to bring a lot of tears to me. And the reason is because very early on, I identified myself as being the Tastefully Simple consultant. And it's very easy to lose your identity being so consumed with something that you love. It's a good thing, but it could be equally as bad if you don't stay balanced and true to yourself. So I was, forming my identity on things that I was accomplishing, and I was this consultant, and little did I remember, I'm also John's wife and Adam's mother and Lexi's grandmother and Holly's daughter and Michael's sister. So I needed to also remember that as well. And so life for me has really been about keeping everything in balance and taking a step back. When I was very early on in the business, always working, because we want to achieve everything, and we'll do we'll do whatever we have to do and open our planners and book parties 30 days out of the month. Yes, I used to do that. And I found myself one day being in a very unhealthy state. And so I had gone for a physical, and I got a phone call that I knew one day would come, and the doctor left me a message and said, we need to talk to you about your blood work. And I knew it was coming because both of my parents are diabetics. My father has since passed. And I just knew that it was time for me to get some commitment back to myself. And so one thing I've learned in all this process, because it's been a 3-year journey where I've lost 80 pounds by clean eating and exercising. And once you are happy from the inside, you're able to exude happiness to the outside. And so by taking care of me, I'm able to take care of others more than I ever thought possible. So I am truly, truly happy. And by being happy on the inside, everyone is in a much happier state around me. Because as my husband says, a happy wife is a happy life.
That's absolutely true. And that's great. But I know you because I know you personally, and I follow you on Facebook, and, you probably don't even realize this, but you inspire me almost on a daily basis to get to the gym, to work out, to focus on myself a little bit more because I'm a workaholic as well. And I want you to address that just a little bit, because you just posted a picture a couple of days ago of yourself a few years back and then what you look like today. And, it's not an easy road. And I think sometimes, again, people look at people and go, oh, I want that quick fix. I want that quick pill. And you work your butt off. I see the pictures, and can you just share a little bit about that? Because I know it inspires me, and I don't know that the people really realize, again, it's the hard work that it takes.
It is. And one of the secrets to, it's not a quick fix. There's not a pill or anything out there that is going to get you skinny by tomorrow. It didn't come on overnight. It's not going to come off overnight. So you have to schedule yourself just like any other appointment. You have to schedule the time. And I remember one time my neighbor across the street had invited me to go to the gym with her. And I said, I don't have the time. I'm just way too busy. And she goes, it's because you choose not to make the time. And that was kind of like the invisible slap in the face that I needed from her. So ever since then, I am a queen of scheduling everything. And in fact, I was a guest on the Dr. Oz show a couple of years ago for my scheduling, because they wanted to know if I was ADD. And no, I'm not ADD. I'm just a queen of scheduling. And so everything in my life gets scheduled, from the laundry to the post office. And so I schedule in gym time. I schedule in meal prep time. I schedule Lexi time, work time. And this way I don't make the excuses that I can't get this done or I can't do that. So, and meal prep is the biggest thing. Once you're prepared with food, nutrition is a big piece of a healthy lifestyle. So, and it just also allows me to have a quiet mind and just to ask myself what really matters and what's my purpose, and just live from that place of authenticity. So it just has allowed me to live a stress-free life. So if it doesn't get scheduled, it doesn't get done. So if you want a happy life, start to schedule some time in for yourself.
So what are some things that you are extremely proud of?
Being Lexi's grandma. It's fun to watch her grow and have a major influence in her life. But from a professional standpoint, I am so proud to be the first consultant in my company to have sold $1 million in product. And that might not seem like a lot to people, but when your average price point of a product is $7.99, that is pretty significant. So I'm excited for that on a professional standpoint. And then the personal standpoint is to have released my 80 pounds. I don't ever want to find it again. I used to say I've lost weight, but I've discovered that my entire life I was the lost and found department, and I don't want to find it anymore. So I've released 80 pounds and I'm enjoying my healthy lifestyle. And I just live day to day in that because every day is a struggle. I'm addicted to sugar, and sugar is what was causing me an unhealthy lifestyle. So I just have to focus every day on why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I don't want that, and just stay strong mentally. Your mind is a muscle, so you have to work it just like you do any other muscle in the body.
So in closing today, what advice would you give to others who want to either be in a direct sales business or an entrepreneur and have their own business? What words of wisdom would you like to leave our listeners with?
I just want to encourage everyone to be an entrepreneur, as it really is an opportunity to change your life personally and professionally, and realize that it's not, get rich. It takes time and it takes work. And this isn't a get rich quick scheme. And the lessons that we can teach our children and grandchildren, especially girls, they're life-changing. I mean, a lot of the skills I talked about today are not skills you learn in a job setting. So just remember that it's a journey, and you need to embrace the process and learn and discover yourself, make an impact on other people's lives along the way. Not everyone is very happy in their workplace, so we have the opportunity to share what we do and make a difference in so many people's lives. And it's not about what we achieve, but it's about the person we become in the process. So I'm just going to go out and challenge everyone to go out and change the world one person at a time.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today. I know that our listeners are going to take away some wonderful gems from all of your knowledge and your infectious personality. And I know that it has been a pleasure for me watching you do these things, and you continue to inspire me with all the many wonderful things that you implement and then that you make happen. It's one thing to say something, but it's when you go out and do it and you make it happen, you just can't ignore that. And that's what people should really find are, role models that they can follow, that they can watch, whether it's from afar, like on a Facebook group page, and it can inspire you, or by joining their team and you can be inspired, reach out to others, because there's an incredible amount of people out there that would love to see you succeed. And I think that that's why most of us that have been involved in the direct sales industry, that's why we do what we do. And even if you are just wanting to open your own business, it's like, gosh, find someone that you can model after. Find a role model. Mm-hmm. And that is really key. So I know you've been a role model to so many people. So thank you for your service and dedication to this amazing industry.
Well, thank you. You're the pioneer. I'm just following your trail.
Well, thanks, Jessie. And you have
Linda.
Fabulous day.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks for joining us at Work From Your Happy Place. If you like what you hear, please share it with your friends, and be sure to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher. For a free gift on finding your own happy place, please visit workfromyourhappyplace.com and click on the free audio button. Thanks again for listening.